What's up guys, welcome back for another YgoPro duel video. Next match, Cross-Banlist Cup for the last time, all the way back to the beginning, back in Group A. The first deck we have Pendulum Magicians versus Dark Armed Return Dead, Return Dead, however you want to call it, right. Speaking of Dead Return, Dark Armed Return, this is the list right before TeleDAD, right, back in 2008. A very fast deck with Dimension Fusion, with the Dark Magician of Chaos pre-errata by the way. Access to triple return from a different dimension, and very nifty back then, a nifty tech it was back then, adding the Cyber Valley with that machine duplication, that equaled so much shenanigans. The second list we have Pendulum Magicians, and thanks for the feedback on the previous video is... I've made a mistake with this particular list with Pendulum Magicians using the Venom for example, but that particular list, that option was only available right at the start of Link format, and that's like September 2017. So this particular list, some small changes with Wavering Eyes as well, not possible like at the end of well, Master Rule 3, you know, abusing triple Wavering Eyes with Astrograph Sorcerer and double Iris Magicians. So nope. Sadly not possible. Nonetheless, don't get me wrong, this list, Pendulum Magicians, right at the end of Master Rule 3, ridiculous deck, ridiculous, unbelievable. This is a list using the last ban list, that small list when we in the TCG got back Joker at 3, Wisdom Eye back at 3, and I believe Pendulum Call at 3 as well. There, I think it was 3 cards that we got back right before hitting, well, entering Master Rule 4, and you know, eventually Astrograph Sorcerer was banned, the double Iris Magician got the X as well, but yeah, I got Venom, got Wavering Eyes back, etc. So which deck has the advantage? Well, this speaks for itself. We have Pendulum Magicians, according to the people leading here, with almost 85% over 14/15%. Well, for Dark Armed Return, okay, over 1,100 votes. Thanks again. So again, feel free to leave your votes for the next matchup, upper right corner, the eye symbol, or a comment of course. But I kinda agree, both decks do pretty much the same, heavily OTK based, but the difference is that Pendulum Magicians have access to a superb extra deck, and with that I mean, well, let's say, go for a powerful Synchro first turn. They have options going first, while TeleDAD or Dark Armed Return doesn't have that. The decent going first for Dark Armed Return is like maybe normal summon Cyber Valley pass or set Scapegoat or whatever, but not as in oh, I'm going to vomit my entire hand to the field and block my opponent with powerful synchros or powerful exceeds. It can do the same, but it's not as consistent as the Pendulum deck, which basically has a once per turn Dimension Fusion at its disposal, right? Simply thanks to setting up your Pendulum scales. Going second for TeleDAD or Dark Armed Return is a problem, especially against a super fast deck like Pendulum Magicians. And of course the superb cards that completely power creep older decks like the Pendulum Graph, Trap and Spell. Superb cards, once per turn searches during your opponent's turn as well, getting the search or popping something, a once per turn Raigeki Break, and let's not forget with Star Time Magician, I believe the exceed name is from the Pendulum Magicians. It just makes your Raigeki Break, Pendulum Graph, Trap, it's basically a destroy too. It's just an insane card against older decks. Going first this time, you know, this is a new version of YgoPro, not possible of adding in the option of going first and opening with 6 cards, so that's why Pendulum Magicians go first and pass right, but you know, that's how it works. But yeah, going first, that's what I said. Okay, I do open with 6 cards, but what can I do? Like normal summon Cyber Valley pass, maybe get a couple of draws with Destiny Draw, Allure of Darkness, maybe hopefully drawing into Trap Dash Shoot, Mind Crush, prevent my, or yeah, maybe interrupting my opponent during his turn, prevent my opponent from OTKing me, I guess, but if that's not the case, then that it's quite hard. Heavy Storm, well, should be a blowout against Pendulum Magicians, but that brings me with another problem, is that even though with Heavy Storm, Pendulum Magicians basically at full force, like had so many options of, well, even though if your opponent had like Twin Twister or Mystical Space Typhoon or whatever, they can still recover their resources. And I'm looking at Double Iris Magician, I'm looking at Overdragon Magician, I'm looking at Black Fang, like, you know, so many Pendulum Magicians that give you the extra pluses. So game number 3, 2-0 behind. That's a problem. So I need to do something, I guess. Normal Summon Cyber Valley Machine Duplication for the extra pluses. And the thing here is with Cyber Valley back in the old school days. I believe this is Jerry Wang's first place Shonen Jump build. But Jerry, not sure if it was his personal idea, but eventually he piloted it, right? Right to victory, or second place victory. I think it was victory during that particular Shonen Jump. And that's where everyone decided to play our main deck Cyber Valley in this deck, right? Dark Armed Return, because you see, you're playing triple Allure, triple Destiny Draw. It's quite consistent, and of course it fuels your return from a different dimension and Dimension Fusion, giving you the extra draws. And not forget Cyber Valley's second effect of adding in, well, basically a Feather of the Phoenix. Target anything from your graveyard and put it back on the top of your deck. Recycling Dimension Fusion or something, right? Monster Reborn was also definitely an option, but here I just have too much advantage with the Scapegoat during the end phase because of the Plasma. Plasma is going to get rid of them, and potentially Cyber Valley as well with the Dimension Fusion. There's no reason to use Heavy Storm and losing my return from a different dimension here. There was always a possibility of chaining return for Jinzo, but nah, it's whatever. Using Dimension Fusion first. Basically pay my half my, oh yeah, I need half my life points, and then still have double return from a different dimension ready to be activated, and eventually, whew, I can get at least win one duel right from this particular match. But it's quite hard. Finally can drop the Dark Armed Dragon. It has been difficult, but got that 3 darks here in my graveyard, and now I can safely attack for game. So game number 4, but the problem here, yeah, Pendulum Magician going first again, and the lack of hand traps definitely hurts Dark Armed Return. So normal summoning the Joker, getting the Surge here, yeah, it's again the crazy deck, right, with Joker basically being the Stratos of the deck, and of course going for the Time Star Magician, the Exceed one, the Astrograph Sorcerer as well. Not as ridiculous with Wavering Eyes legal, Master Rule 3, but the fact that it's basically a free body on the field and it gives you the extra Surge, and then Master Rule 3 means it's basically an extra monster, a level 4 body. Well, the Pendulum Magician, it searches, right? Basically an extra monster on the field, and it just equals into more OTKs, and that's a problem, right? Even with the Crush, doesn't really matter. There is still one more duel coming, you know, like not spoiling anything because of the video length, but I think we have a well-deserved winner here with Pendulum Magicians getting the 3 points, and you know, now we have already one deck sure of moving on to the top 16. Well, Pendulum Magicians will just take up the first place here in Group A. And then depends on the next matchup. So again, like always, feel free to leave your predictions. We have Cosmos, also one of those bigger decks here in this year's Cross-Banlist Cup from 2016 with Triple Dark Destroyer versus Dark Matter Heretics. Again, a very strong deck. Also got very far in one of the previous Cross-Banlist Cup editions. I believe second place, if I'm not mistaken. So again, like always, feel free to leave your predictions for this particular matchup. The deck that wins this matchup will move on to the top 16 playoffs as well. I think that's you know, that's pretty clear. So an extra duel here with well, a Crush card, blow my opponent away. But the problem here is I was legit thinking like 1 or 2 minutes of, should I activate my Crush card now or wait? There is, you know, the possibility of Duelist Alliance, Pendulum Call. Maybe I should wait, but then again, he can, well, almost summon Joker, get a Surge, activate the Scale. So it's a bit iffy when should I activate my Crush card. But eventually opt to use pre-errata Crush cards immediately, I think draw phase, whatever, you know, getting information about the opponent's hand, and popping those bigger monsters. But again, there was a threat of destroying the Black Fang as what happened, destroying Double Iris as well, and that's, well, again, as I mentioned before, Pendulums can easily recover from that, and even after a Torrential Tribute as well, the deck still has more cards than Dark Armed Return, and here, yeah, popping 4, I think, no? popping 4, well, no, 3 indeed. Tornado Dragon also clearing the back row just in case. Yeah, what can I do, right? Again, we have a well-deserved winner here, with Pendulum Magicians taking this particular matchup over Dark Armed Return. So which deck is going to win next matchup? We have Cosmos from 2016 versus Dark Matter Hieratics from 2015. Again, like always, feel free to leave your predictions top right corner, or as always, comment down below. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching, and feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.